What's up, everybody? It's your boy Petsworth, also known as _ Petty King on Instagram and Petty King with 2 eyes on Facebook. Here to give you my point of view on season 9, episode 10, called A Marsoldier versus a Melometer of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's get into it. The first scene involves the married couple, Chris and Nell Fletcher, meeting in a pizza shop to eat. It starts off with Chris Fletcher mentioning their business, which kind of lets me know that they really want to use this show to promote their business and to leverage their business. But it quickly went into Nell going back over the drama about Chris introducing Trish to Martell while they were supposed to be mentoring Melody and Martell. While this is going on, you can see Nell kind of smiling. It's my opinion that she probably feels glad that they have like a dramatic storyline kind of going on, because she had like this smirk on her face the entire time. And so Chris, he's kind of floundering underneath the questioning Nell is giving him, and he's saying that he knew her last name because they were related. I like when Chris brought up women also do flirtatious things as well. He brought up how his wife said Moses, Ken, and Martell were fine and good looking, and I don't quite remember her ever saying that her own husband Chris was good looking. And it kind of showed his face kind of frowning up when she would mention these other men. I felt this scene and I was smiling throughout it. I thought it was some good drama, some good questioning. So I'm gonna give this particular scene a B. It wasn't really funny. There weren't any really emotional moments. There weren't any reads being dispersed out, but it did have a vibe. I was smiling while I was watching it. I liked watching her question him on this topic. I'm interested in the whole idea of him hooking Trish and Martell up when they were supposed to be mentoring Melody and Martell. All right, moving on to the next scene. Next up was a scene between Maurice and Melody. They are not married. They are supposed to be friends, and the two of them are stars of the show. But when they first entered into the scene, Mel was giving her phony nice girl voice, and I fully expected him to question her and her to kind of dance around and not answer his questions. But it was refreshing to see that they did have a direct conversation in this scene. I did notice that 3 times, I think once from Maurice and twice from Melody, they mentioned the term, "Are you going around disparaging my character?" I wonder if the cast threatens legal ramifications whenever they're having conversations about their opinions on the show, just based on this term, disparaging my character, when they were talking to each other. Mel dished out a read. She said, "You disparage your own character, you do it yourself." And I thought that read was pretty funny. I loved it. Maurice mentioned Melanie's pain and embarrassment probably about twice or a couple of times. I felt that was funny as well. They were kind of jabbing back and forth. I liked this scene together, and I do feel that it was kind of juicy. Mel brought up the fact that they don't really talk to each other like that. I thought that was interesting. Nell also brought up the fact that if they are friends with her ex, she's not saying that they need to pick a side, but she's saying that she won't be close to you if you are close with her ex, Martell. They each issued out each other an apology at the end of it. This particular scene, I'm gonna give it a B. I felt like it was juicy. I loved it. I like seeing the two of them go back and forth in this scene together. I like that Melody directly answered his questions and she didn't run from the questions or dodge them. Yeah, moving right along to the next scene. The third scene was between Marquise Marceau and Chris Fletcher. So there were 3 guys here. Love and Marriage Huntsville, they're really groundbreaking in giving the guys a voice and giving them their own scenes, their own confessional interviews. First, I want to take a minute to say I like Marquise. He's sensitive, he's emotional, he's a little bit thirsty. He has all the right ingredients to be a good reality star. He's also kind of delusional. By that I mean when he's thinking that he can spit game to Mel. Melanie, she's very guarded, and to me, it seems like she worries about what the public would think. So she most definitely is not going to pursue or move forward with a guy who is still married, A, and does not take care of his children according to the storyline, B. So I can see that he has no shot with her in no way, shape, or form ever. But the fact that he's delusional enough to think that she would move forward with him when he wasn't even good enough for Trish, that's kind of delusional that he would think that he would have a shot with Melody ever. But it's kind of fun seeing him be delusional enough to think that that might happen when it's never going to happen. Okay, the next scene was a Melody-centered scene. It was her Mimosas with Melody event. This is her 5th year doing the event, and she invited the entire friend group. The only one that wasn't there was Tisha. She was going to Vegas, and Moses, he's arrested. So there's a little bit of drama going on with that. It was a very organized event, but there were people on stage giving speeches about business and whatnot because it was about standing on business. And those type of seminars, they could be a bit boring. Then we got to this part where there was Melody, Marceau, Marcel and Marquise together. Melanie said that her feet was hurting, and then Marquise was like, okay, well, would you like a foot massage? And then she was like, no, absolutely not. But then you have Marcel starting to be a bit dramatic and being a bit shady, kind of saying that Marquise said that he made her blush when they were flirting, was kind of being like a little shady about the two of them kind of hooking up. And then Melody shut it right down. She was like, he's married. What would make you think I would be with somebody that's married? She did a shady comment towards Marcel, saying that, you kind of flirt outside of your marriage as well. I thought that comment was pretty funny. It was a well-placed shade moment. Just in this scene, I love Marcel. He was messy. He was just asking the questions and, kind of poking the bear and kind of being funny. And then he threw some shade at her event, kind of said it was the Black Expo and saying she kind of redid it into her own thing. I just thought the whole scene was pretty funny. It was good. I give this scene a B. It was funny. It was shady. There weren't any emotional moments, and it was a vibe. I love to see Marcel being shady, saying that some of Melody's Melometers were also Marsoldiers. I think I'm both. I'm somewhere in the middle, a Melometer and a Marsoldier. The last scene was between Miss Nell and Melody at the dress shop because Miss Nell is getting ready for her vow renewal. In this scene, Miss Nell says that she believes she was a mentor to Melody, and Melody kind of downplayed their connection. Nell kind of did laugh it off in the episode before and shrunk the whole situation. And I agree with Miss Nell. I do believe she was a mentor to Melody. We did see that on the show, and Melody did use the term mentor. And then after the fact, she is kind of changing it like, oh, you weren't my mentor. There was an apology. Melody apologized to her for hurting her feelings. She did accept it. And then by the end of the scene, they said they were going to move forward, and then she would come to Miss Nell's vow renewal. So I did enjoy the scene. It was kind of a tense scene. An apology did happen, and I thought it was pretty good. All in all, I give this episode, season 9, episode 10, A Marsoldier versus a Melometer. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't a particularly funny episode. There were some funny moments coming from Melody and Marcel. It wasn't a tearjerker or that emotional, although there were some tears from Miss Nell when they were in the bridal shop. It wasn't like a really cutthroat, shady episode, although there was some shade thrown from Melody and also Marcel. And it was a vibe. Like I could kind of chill and watch the show and eat my snacks. It was an entertaining watch. The MVP for the episode was Marcel. It was definitely Marcel because he had a scene with the 3 guys in which he schooled Marquise, and he gave out some advice that was true. In that scene at the Melody event, when he was kind of, intimating, like flirting between Marquise and Melody and throwing shade at her event. I thought that part of the episode was very funny. So he did a good job this episode. I have to give it to Marcel. The LVP, or least valuable player, I would have to give it to Kimmy. She wasn't really in this episode today. She was there at the table, but she really didn't do much. There weren't any confessionals that I can remember from her, so she wasn't really utilized in this particular episode. So there you have it. This is my very first review, my very first attempt at Petty's video journal. This is going to be the first of many. Please expect for the quality to grow and also me to get better at editing and getting everything all tightened up. Please like, subscribe, comment below, and until next time, bye.